Suicide, motherfuckers.
Shouts to Dome.
We're all in.
Fuck it up.
Do it again.
Ooh, yeah.
Rumble, YouTube, family, what's good, what's happening? Welcome for joining Ironwork 92,000. That's me, family, that's you. It's a True Work Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be a nice and juicy kind of show. Juicy fruit. Yeah, man, been waiting all week for Tuesday only to get rain. Y'all know how my internet is already. Liking it because of this crazy rain already. Look at that. See that? Look at that. Already craziness. Already. Anyway, look, I'm happy to have y'all here. It's good. We had quite a bit going on this week. It's been an action-packed week, but it hasn't been bad. You know what I'm saying? Though there is news, it's been a good week, and then the weeks to come are going to be good and getting even better. I've got a little bit of news. And part of what I put in as far as the title is concerned is the flat earth being taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's been taken seriously for a little bit now, but now we need to kind of kick it up. So I'm look at that already. This internet just wilding out already. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad to slightly announce that we are working on a project. And let me tell you something. We are here. We're not BSing. We ain't playing games. We're not effing with nobody's emotions, nobody's feelings. You can take us serious. We mean business. What do I mean? We've got Vika. So if you don't know who Vika is, he is the creator of the Mechanical Run. If you haven't seen that movie, highly recommended. Phenomenal True Earth movie, basically talking about the Antikythera mechanism. So if you're not part of his channel, I highly recommend his channel, and it is called Vika Drazik Truth in Plain Sight. So get on to that channel. But we've got a project coming down the pipe. And let me tell you something, family, it is going to change history as we know it. I can damn near guarantee. I'm not going to promise because it's a 99% sure shot, but it is going to change history, right? There's one thing getting on here and discussing the true earth with you. It's another thing to come out and make movies. But once we start making objects, and I'm going to leave it at that right now, once we start making objects, basically detailing this realm that we live in, it's going to be a total, absolute game changer. So this is what's coming down the pipe. For now, this is all I'm going to tell you about, but expect to be part of it. And if you want in, please let me know. If you're serious about this, if you're serious about making history, I'm not about talking BS nonsense and playing games. I'm serious now. You know what I'm saying? I'm more serious than a peak cream cookie. For all you guys that know peak cream cookies. But yeah, we're totally on board with this. Vika Drazik and myself and many others are involved in this new project. And it is totally going to make things better for us in the True Earth community. And it's going to open a lot of other folks' eyes as to what things are where we live. Anyway, that's that. I'm not going to harp too much on it, but if you would like to be part of what we Ida Hill, how you doing, girl? How's everything? It's awesome to see you. Shannon Everson, always a pleasure. Jimmy Satterfield, always in the house. Man, you guys are like furniture right here. And look at that. Guyana Spice is here too, apparently. And this is like a blast from the past. You know what I'm saying? Guyana Spice coming in, showing some love. I like it. I dig it. And we had Vika Tracif in here. If you guys, like I said, if you don't know, Vika was here. He's the creator of the Mechanical Realm. If you haven't seen that movie, highly recommend it. Please check it out. I'm not going to say it again because I'm sounding like a broken record right now. But it's an awesome movie, great production. Vika brings it when he makes this movie, so I highly recommend it again. Right. Tonight we've got quite a bit. We've got quite a bit to discuss. So, like I said, bring your scuba gear because it's going to get deep. Uh, Feelings may feel as if they're being hurt. However, that is not at all what my intent is. My intent is only to provide the truth based off of what history has given us. That's it. That's all. I'm not here to mess with nobody's feelings or emotions. Really, that's it. Um, so again, with the logo, if you guys don't know, and I'm just going to give you guys an answer right. My logo is Gort. He's the character from that movie that came out in like 53, 52, something like that. The Day the Earth Stood Still. I think that's a telling character. And the original story is from a story I think written by Arthur C. Clarke called The Masters, right? But Gort is the robot that's basically he is behind the character Klaatu, which you'll notice he's this dude that's the alien. And he's got the visor, the single unibrow, and the laser that comes out and everything. The only difference is my logo is with him with a red do rag and a shirt that's got a bunch of rosette patterns on it. So that's the only difference. But I think it's telling because he's from the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. Like I said, I thought it was fitting because we and the only time it does move is when we have Earth. So you'll know when this Joker moves. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I said, feelings and those things. Not going to be here to trounce on them, but if you feel that I am hurting your feelings, please talk to me as a human being, as a man. I am not coming at anybody to hurt any feelings. I'm not coming at anybody to to be an ass or anything like that. But if that's how you feel, please just approach me as a human being because I, as a human being, only the truth, only the truth. Um, we've got quite a bit. So apparently, China, what a lot of people like to call the far side of the moon, which we know is absolute hogwash. And then they have film of it. These dudes, man. I mean, they have no shame when it comes to these lies. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna present to you what it is they got. Far side of moon. Yeah, man, these dudes, they have no shame when it comes to this BS. Unreal. The Chang'e, oh, so they had the Chang'e 5 that just landed and like crashed into everything. And so now they have the Chang'e 6. Uh, okay. Chang'e 6. Oh, Jesus, these dudes, man, they're unreal with their nonsense. All right, so I'm just gonna get right to it. Let's get to the Chang'e 6 and all their dragon-like glory. Let me show you what I got here, and you guys get to see it. So, but I'm gonna show you guys A6 and all their craziness. Let's do it. It's from Reuters right here. Salute, y'all. Probe successfully completed the sample selection. Yeah. These dudes, man. Oh boy. Shout out to China. Good job, y'all. Good job getting that thing out there. Oh, and here's another one. Okay. All right. Let's talk about that right quick. Here's another one.
You know that YouTube puts labels on all truth videos, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. This is, I wasn't even going to get on this, but since we already here, Gene, bro, what's good, man? Half Warrior. Man, you got it's about time. Half Warrior, I'm surprised. And Gene edited, guys. Gene edited, just met this brother. He's a good dude. Just met him on Vika's channel. We had a discussion about that project that we're going to do. So us four so far, we're in. And we're all in, right? All ankles deep. And so he's one of the guys. You guys say hi to Gene. Gene, everybody. This is like my backbone. These guys that you see in the chat right now, they're like the furniture in here. They always got my back. So it's always good to see these guys. And it's always good that these guys have my back. And Gene, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. It's good that you're here. Now, I want to get on this InfoWars thing. We're going to play a little bit of it, and we'll talk. We'll talk. I'll have my points throughout. So let's do
it. They'll put truth on every flat video. Why would they do that? Why would they put any flat Earth? And then if you punch in, there's a video called The History of Flat Earth by Eric Dubay. If you punch that in on Dube right now, it won't take you to that. It'll take you to 100 videos that they produce to turn you away, turn you off from flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You could punch it in word for word. The History of Flat Earth by Eric Dubay. It won't come up. They'll give you 100 videos of videos.
I tried to. Let me tell you something. I tried to search.
Why would they do that?
I tried to search Trump Russia to see what they were going to say today on Google, and it wouldn't let me search it.
That's what I'm saying. Why would they do that?
Alex,
why would they do that?
If I looked up for like underwater basket weaving a year ago, I could go to my history and find it. If you watch a whole bunch of flat Earth videos, like some of my videos and other good videos, then your history, it's not there, and it's replaced with propaganda.
Doesn't that
videos.
make you a little suspicious?
It's
based on all the shit you went through. You fucking went through all the shit. You should be questioning fucking.
Yo, and talk about Alex Jones and some shit. Apparently, they're looking to shut down his show. So InfoWars has been around, I'd say, since the 90s. If I'm not mistaken, the 90s is mad early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And they are about to shut his operation down. Now, Alex Jones, we know that originally he was entertaining an idea publicly. He was entertaining an idea of the flat earth. Right? He was asking the serious questions. He was saying this, he was saying that. As soon as David Weiss mentioned, what he said to the rest of his crew, that, all right, if you guys mention flat earth ever again, you're fired, right? That's because them folks got to him. We already know somebody reached out, touched him, told him, yo, it kind of like Soul Sovereign mentioned. He was like, here's $15 million, and we won't kill your family if you shut the hell up about this whole true earth thing, this whole flat earth nonsense, right? And so, Palkis, bro, what's going on, brother, man? It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you again. But with that, Alex Jones, just like you said, Half Warrior, good point. Alex Jones has been stonewalling the shit out of both Flat Earth Dave, David Weiss, and Eddie Bravo. He's been, and matter of fact, when Austin Whitsitt came on and he was debating old dude, it wasn't even a debate. Old dude shut him down. And I bet Alex Jones was like, all right, there goes that $5,000 bonus that I promised you for acting it out, just playing that part perfectly. And even if Austin Whitsitt, if you'd have seen the debate, Austin Whitsitt was obviously bringing up his good points. That dude just said, it doesn't matter what you say. I still don't believe it. Word for word, damn near. And he stonewalled him just as hard as Alex Jones does. So let's take a look some more. Alex Jones, just look at his body language. He's already, just We'll continue.
And everything. You should throw
We
everything
have
out.
we have a delay. We're on 300 radio stations. You got to only cuss occasionally.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Isn't it weird that circumnavigated south? Isn't it weird that they faked the 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Isn't it weird that there's webcams in Antarctica? You can watch the shadows go around, it's going, and then all of a sudden, up, it skips 8 hours. Every day, it skips 8 hours in their summer when there should be a 24-hour sun. But in the winter, they give us the full 24 hours. And when we contact them and say, why are you cutting out 8 hours? They go, we don't have enough bandwidth.
So what happened to Magellan then?
He just went around. What about Amelia Earhart? She literally went around the world. If you walked around Austin, does that make Austin a sphere?
Damn. Gotcha. How about the endless?
I love how David Weiss has edited the hell out of that show. He had to edit. Normally David Weiss just plays through, right? But I guess InfoWars had it set up a certain way. Alex Jones was probably tripping, doing his thing, but he looks like he's given up damn near. Alex Jones, I've never seen him like this. But it looks like InfoWars is at these days. And it's fucked up. It's sad. You know what I'm saying? Because many of us, we came up on InfoWars. You know what I'm saying? Many of us, that's where we entered the conspiracy theory world. It was either InfoWars or any of y'all shout out to George Nuri, even though George Nuri has he has that one dude, Timothy John. Right? He has Richard C. Holman or John Leo, which God bless his soul, is no longer with us. But these guys believe that moon nonsense. But anyway, that was a lot of us, our introduction into the conspiracy world, right? It was Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell before it was George Nuri, or it was InfoWars. For many of the kids coming up now, it's InfoWars, and then many others. Let's continue.
Documents from NASA and the military, when they're not even talking about flat earth or round earth, they're talking about calculating the motion of missiles and high altitude aircraft. When calculating, because it's got the trajectory and the speed, it's got to be perfect. The number one rule, document after document after document. The number one rule, if you want the precise calculations of the motions of missiles and high altitude aircraft, you have to assume we're on a flat, non-rotating Earth. You have to assume that the crazy conspiracy theory that we're on some flat Earth is real to get the right numbers.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth.
Alex Jones is just sitting there looking at him like, yeah, they taking my show. You know, we're gonna sit on my lap for the rest of my life. That's it. I'm done.
Truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link today.
Look at that big, beautiful globe right there.
CGI.
I can't believe you think that's real.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you.
Listen, I love.
That looks like the Strait of Hormuz right here. That's the Strait of Hormuz. You can just tell. Look at that. The Arabian Sea. Anyway, let's continue.
Love you when you come to town. I love you to death. And I love challenging the system. But Eddie, Trump has been convicted of this fraud. They're trying to.
Do you notice? Do you guys notice how the first thing he does, he jumps on talking to Trump? Throughout this whole production, all he's been doing is Trump is talking about Trump and Russia. So he doesn't incriminate himself to where now they have him dead to rights, which his show is done. It's sad, and I'm going to kind of allude back to his show based off of what I have for the rest of the night. I'm going to talk on Alex Jones, but it's sad to see where he's come from to where he is now. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there was a lot of growth, a lot of spiritual growth with Alex Jones being revealed at the end of such a run of InfoWars, and to see that they brought us through the Clinton craziness, the Grove, the Grove, in California, where it has the big statue of Moloch. Alex Jones brought us that, right? The Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones brought us the Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones brought us, you know, a lot of the craziness before it was the guy that wrote Behold the Pale Horse, William, I forget his name. Jesus, man, I'm getting a stroke all day. But that dude, Alex Jones was working in concert kind of with him and presenting to us that, hey, there would be some sort of false flag, right? And the only difference between him and old dude that wrote Behold the Pale Horse is that old dude that wrote Behold the Pale Horse was killed in November that same year in 2001. And then since then, Alex Jones and InfoWars has done this, skyrocketed, right? With the Iraq War, conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory. He's endured it. And he's presented us with some of the most outrageous and craziest news. And a lot of people don't like Alex Jones. And a lot of people think Alex Jones is a white supremacist, right? And he's racist. You know, that is what you think, whatever you think it is, it doesn't matter. Alex Jones was there when a lot of people didn't believe, whether you believe it or not, didn't believe, right? He presented a lot of truths when first thought was total conspiracy theory. Remember the gay frogs? Well, there's truth behind that. Maybe they weren't totally like gay or anything like that, but I mean, there was truth behind what he was saying. And a lot of what he says, there's much truth behind it. So he had such a big platform that it appears as if he's sold out. But now we have to see, why did he sell out, right? Get back to it.
Going to have World War III. They're announcing they're going to start bombing Russia with U.S. weapons. And all I said this morning is, I said, you're coming in. Can you at least talk a little bit about Trump, the politics, the world, and then we about the Easter Bunny stuff.
Okay.
I'm being mean. No, Eddie wants to tell you the big secret: the world's flat. And he's got
Flat Earth Dave.
He's got Flat Earth Dave, folks, one of the biggest flat earthers here with us, Dave Weiss, flatearthdave.com. So fine, just tell the big secret. It's all flat. They really beat them.
Well, the thing is, when you look for flat Earth, it's like looking for truth. You're not going to find it on Google. You're not going to find anything.
I think challenging the system's good, but just
and look, this is the role he has to play, right? He's been limited now to having to play this role, Alex Jones, not David Weiss. But it's sad. It's sad, I think, in my opinion, but let's continue.
Just humor me. Give me your take on Trump, your take on Russia before we go into the worst flat.
I don't really follow a lot of that. I listened to what you said.
It's got to be easy, though. It's we talk about flat Earth all day, nothing else.
I think that the entire system's rigged. It's all fake, and it's a complete and total mess. And
I think when you're being lied to, that's a reasonable response.
We are being lied to, for sure. We're being lied to about everything. And NASA, is what tells us that the Earth is a globe. You're showing CGI pictures. The globalists lie about the globe.
Well, I've got a big telescope I've had since high school, and some others, and I can watch Jupiter turn. Right. I'll drink a 6-pack of beer. I can watch the sun with a green lens. I'm looking at it through a lens. It's not a CGI. It's the sun.
Are you looking at Earth?
Can you pull up Jupiter?
Are you looking at Earth? No, but the issue is, as above, so below. Here's the deal. The universe is forming. It's explosive. It's heating. Everything goes into a globe.
As above, so below. Alex, you said it. It ain't. You said it, and we heard it. So you, as above, so below. What are you talking about? So just because those things are shiny around, Earth is shiny and around as well, or shiny and appear around, Earth is shiny and around. Come on, man. That's the oldest trick in the book, man.
But just like metal sprayed into the wind that's molten goes into little spheres. So all I look at is I'm seeing spheres out there.
Right.
So are you saying Jupiter and Saturn are not round?
I'm saying that they appear to be round. If you could, anything in the distance will look like the moon, but when it comes to you, you see that it's square.
How are they rotating then? How do I look at them, myself time lapse, and they're orbiting and they're an orb?
hey, we're looking at the lights in the ceiling does not dictate the shape of the floor. No one has ever seen a star anything other than a point of light in the sky. I had access to a major telescope in college for 4 years, looked at all the things. If you look at Jupiter and Saturn, it's a light. It's small. It's close. We don't know.
So you agree with Sheila Jackson Lee that the moon is a translucent plate?
No, I don't. I don't know what the moon is. I know that it's not what they tell us. But if you look,
all right.
at the
Well,
moon,
I mean, okay.
I did not know Sheila Jackson Lee said anything like that. Does anybody in the chat know that Sheila Jackson Lee said anything to that effect? Anything? I never heard that. Never, not one time that I heard that. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I ain't never heard that before.
We'll get to that. Just can you give me your take on Trump and nuclear war? Let me ask.
Hold on.
Nuclear weapons don't exist.
Did we land on the moon?
Alex really trying to hold on to that show, man.
Yes or no? That's a no.
I mean,
That's a no.
I think
That's
we're
a no.
showing some fake stuff.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You think we landed on the moon? For real? Be honest. You think we landed on the motherfucker?
So you think Starlink's fake?
What's that?
I can prove it's fake.
So how does my cell phone talk to people in China?
It does work. I'll tell you exactly how it works. Cell towers are all over the earth, and the higher they are, the bigger of a radius they have, and we go from tower to tower to tower, and that's how the technology works. If we had towers that were a mile tall, yes, right? So when you have a satellite phone that is in an area where there's no cell towers, what's it connecting to? Is it connecting to a little satellite that's flying 200 feet, 300, 400 miles above us through space? Where's it getting its power from? How is it staying? How is it following the Earth as it's corkscrewing through space? What it's connecting to is airplanes. Airplanes have the power source. They have the equipment. I have Wi-Fi in the airport. I was uploading videos on my flight to Austin, right? It connects to an airplane. It either connects to another airplane or down to a tower, and now you're connected. You use all the
So you don't believe
satellites are on?
And I can prove that Starlink.
They have blimps too. No, we're not denying that's there. You're saying there's no satellites.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
They're on balloons.
There's stuff in the sky. They're on balloons. But have you seen the Starlinks go across the right? So when you look at a 777 at cruising altitude, 5 miles, can you see the engine? You can't. It's very small, right? You can fit 30 Starlink satellites inside that engine. So that's how small a Starlink is. If you doubled the height of that airplane to 10 miles, you wouldn't even be able to see the airplane.
No, the reason you're seeing them is they're above the horizon of the Earth with lights on them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So a tiny mirror would look big.
No, it doesn't matter because the angular size is too small. Those Starlink satellites are 350 miles away. You think you could see a school desk at 350 miles
All
away?
right, we will cover this, but you guys before you came on, I said,
Oh, you got him.
give me, you don't have me. I know. I mean, I'm just totally focused on Trump being indicted, convicted, and World War III. But let me guess, there's no nuclear weapons, right, Eddie?
Absolutely not.
100%.
No, I've heard this before. I've been around a while.
Well,
Alex Jones wore out, boy. Look at him, man. It's almost as if he's in like KB Toy Store, and it's like 45 minutes before KB Toy Store is about to shut down for the rest of time. I don't know if you guys are familiar with KB Toy Stores from back in the day, Child's World, all them other toy stores that have gone. It's like everything is on clearance at InfoWars, and he's just letting go. He's done. Alex Jones is done. He's given up. He's given up. You can see it all over his face. He's about to move to the Philippines. I can see it. He's got his summer clothes, his linens. He's moving to the PI. I already see it on his face. Look at him.
Well, okay, so there's no nuclear weapons. So
it's meant for fear. It's meant for control. This is all.
So there's
about
no. What real technology is there?
Oh, there's big bombs. They stack TNT at ground zero in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There's video of troops stacking TNT at ground zero.
Wow, the U.S. had invaded Japan and did that. Wow.
War is a theater. That's why they call it the theater of war. They're all working together. There may be some rogue states and some stuff going on, but all of this is combined.
Well, I mean, I get challenging and questioning everything.
Sure,
but I mean, so the Trump indictment's fake too?
I don't know. I think they're really going after him. I think if Trump gets in office, that their plans might.
But everything else is fake. Everything's a theater. How can it be Trump's?
No.
I'll be honest with y'all, man. I don't trust that motherfucker neither. I don't trust Trump. I don't trust Trump neither. Trump is the same as everybody else in my book, man. He just like the rest of those turkeys in there. He is no different. He's no different. He's going to provide us with the same. It's going to be the same rigmarole. He's not changing them prices, them gas prices, things. Listen, it's up to us to change things. Them people ain't not on our side. They're all no good. They're all no good, and they're all up to no good. They're all bought and paid for, and none of them serve us. We have to serve us. We have to protect us. We have to serve us. They don't do it. They can't do it. They're put a fork in them because they are done. Okay. Nanos TBD, brother. What's good? What's happening, man? It's good to see you. Look at Alex Jones. Alex Jones.
It's not
I
all
don't
or
know.
nothing, Alex. Come on.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah, I know. There's no nuclear weapons. There's no satellites.
I love how you're playing devil's advocate to make sure that you're not labeled as a flat earther.
I don't. I'm not being. I don't give a shit how I'm labeled. I'm sitting here, and I look at globes, orbs, in my own telescope.
You guys look at Earth.
I'm on Earth. It's kind of hard to look.
The fact that it's a debate.
Kind of hard to look at my own ass.
The fact, shouldn't there be hundreds of motherfucking thousands of photos of Earth from space?
Yeah. No, but for me, it's like the Jew obsession. All the Jew bastards who would say, Jew.
I didn't say nothing about no Jew.
I know. I'm saying it with the flat earthers. I said, can you even talk about Trump and the conviction?
I talk about Trump all the time.
No,
I talk about Trump all the time.
But not on my show, because it's all, we're going to prove, we're going to blow him away.
Alex is trying to win favor with all the people that are going to take his show away. He's trying to win favor. Alex Jones is trying to win favor with the J3 community, the synagogue of Satan. Alex Jones is trying to win favor with the feds. Alex Jones is trying to win favor with this one. Alex Jones is trying to win favor with that one. Alex Jones, man, like, you done, man. You done. They're taking your show from you, bro. They're taking your show from you. What I would recommend, Alex Jones does something either on Rumble, TikTok, or something else. The Alex Jones show. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Alex Jones, you have a following, right? You don't need InfoWars. Just pack that shit up. Let them have it, man. Run your shit off of like a CB radio or something that them folks ain't got their fucking tentacles on, because you can't trust them worth a rip, right? You cannot trust them folks. And I'm talking about the synagogue of Satan, and I'm going to get a little bit into that here in a little bit. So let's continue on with the show.
And expose the flat earth.
No, it's not that. I love
would love it. But the system would love
more Trump. Okay, Trump.
Hey, wait.
5 minutes of Trump. Just do that.
Just finish. Let me finish.
Trump
point that you made. You said you brought up nuclear bombs, right? If anyone wants to prove that nuclear bombs aren't real, there's crow777radio.com. Check out their no nuke session. You watch that, you'll know it. But here's the thing.
Well, my family's dead now. That was in New Mexico.
People die all the time.
When they had the Geiger counters. They watch it explode.
There is explosions. There is radiation, but there's not.
Okay, Alex, tell me. Can you tell the difference between a nuclear missile and a conventional missile? Can you?
By the detonation, yes. Because if you only got 1,000 pounds of plastic explosive, it doesn't blow up a whole city.
So you can look at an explosion and go, oh, that's nuclear and that's not nuclear?
Absolutely.
Alex,
you're the only one.
After Hiroshima and Nagasaki, days later, the trains were running, the sandwich shops were open, the flower.
Let me ask you guys, how is AI working? How is it 1 trillion times faster than it was 10 years ago? Is that made up too?
I think they had it 20 years ago. They just never told us.
They have that technology, but not all the others.
It to us. They're releasing old.
Eddie, you've sent me stuff where you show buildings that have built in the West, and you claim they're 1,000 years old, they're 100 years old.
Oh, that brings us to Old World Order.
Old World Order.
There's a documentary that just got.
All right, so you guys get it. They were all over the place. Alex Jones is doing his best. I gotta give him credit for that, though. Alex Jones is pulling these guys in every direction except flat Earth, right? They start talking about flat Earth, it's a rip. It's a rip. It's a wrap. His show's already done, right? It's unfortunate that we have to see him struggling like this. But hey, man, personally, I like Alex Jones. I always liked Alex Jones. I know he gets a bad rap. And yeah, I Marcus, Misdirection Master. Zach, what's going on, bro? It's good to see you, man. And that MTV haven't seen you before. Zach, I haven't seen you before, so welcome, man. Welcome to the channel. Make yourself at home, grab something to drink, have a seat, and enjoy because it's gonna get wild here in a little bit. I'm gonna be talking about some stuff that's gonna be quite sensitive. Buckle up, get your school here because we getting deep. I'm taking you to the deep end. Exactly, Alex Jones, the misdirection master. Now, so we know what these guys are going to do. We know how the combo is going to go with Alex Jones. Now, that one right there are the flat Earth. That is the flat Earth. Yeah, flat Earth interviews. Flat Earth Dave interviews too on David Weiss's one of his many channels. So I highly recommend that to you guys. Go ahead and sub to that. Oh, before I continue, now I got a couple of new channels for you guys. I've got No Longer on the Globe. Check these guys out. They're great. Met them on Vika Draziv's channel the other day where we had our live discussion, but No Longer on the Globe. One, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that in the description box after tonight's production in the comment section. There's No Longer on the Globe. One, Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. That's another one. Good dude. You've probably seen him in the debates with Jaron versus like everybody, like FTFE Craig. He's an awesome dude, real smart mind, awesome content. Recommend. Also, please subscribe to him too. Gene Edited. Gene, I know you're in the channel. You're in here. He doesn't have a channel yet, but he's going to get one here soon. Awesome dude. Flat Out Truth with Terry Eicher. That's one that I didn't have the last time I made my list. So I'm going to highly recommend. Terry Eicher is always a fan. He's always somebody that you can listen to. And he does flat earth, but he also does biblical cosmology as well, which he's got a phenomenal channel. Everybody loves Terry Eicher. Right? And Vika Draziv, Truth in Plain Sight. So if you haven't, like I said, seen the Mechanical Realm, Vika Draziv's production, highly recommended. Stellar movie, stellar dude with awesome content on, and typically he'll play stuff on Sundays and he'll be live as well. And Vika Draziv, like I said, we're doing our project coming down the pike. So I want to get as many good folks that want to get involved, and then we can get this ball rolling. Now, InfoWars, you had your time, and your time is. Thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Okay. So we have something that I would like to play for you. There are some things that I would like to play for you. I'm not going to tell you where I got it, but I want you to listen and listen carefully. Well, you're going to Jesus, you're going to see it. Oh Lord, you're going to see it. I was trying to make it to where you had to guess where I got the information from, but I've read this, or not all of it, but some of this, and yes, this is the real deal. Okay, but I'm going to provide you guys the link to what it is, right? And let me stop bumping my gums, man, and let me just get right to it. Let me just get right to it. So I'm going to present you with the protocols. India, Zulu, India, Oscar, November. Zulu, India, Oscar, November. Okay, so we're going to get to it. Boom. Boom. And Let her rip. 1325 modus operandi. Listen.
We also have a lot of women agents acting as prostitutes who assist in the corruption process. Our modus operandi is simple. Force and make believe. Only force gives you power, especially in the hands of a smooth talker.
All right. That's one. Okay. And here's this one. I want you guys to pay special attention.
This may be considered evil, but please remember, evil is justified when it is used to achieve good. Therefore, we must not stop at bribery, deceit, and treachery if they can help us attain our end goal.
Okay. Pay special attention. Continue listening.
Noticeable and more satisfactory sentences of death. This is necessary to maintain terror populace, which leads to mind submission. And make believe. It is enough for them to know that we are merciless for any disobedience to cease. The principle of balancing accounts, particularly the repayment of debt, is strongly ingrained and one which we will take advantage of. We will use this principle as a means to bring all governments under the control of our super government. We shall end liberty. Far back in ancient times, we were the first to stand among crowds of people and cry out the words liberty, equality, fraternity.
French Revolution, anyone?
The people fell for our bait. They picked up those words and started repeating them parrot-like throughout the world. As a result, they have taken away the well-being of the world and the true freedom of the individual, which is formerly well protected from mob pressure.
Continue to pay attention.
Earlier, Goyim do not take any of this into consideration. Thanks to dumbass libertarians, the words liberty, equality, and fraternity has spread to all corners of the earth. These words installed peace, quiet, and solidarity throughout all Goyim of the earth, and thus weakened their strength. As you will see later, this helped us to our victory. It gave us the possibility of getting our hands on the master stroke, the destruction of privileges and power of their royalty. That royal class was the only defense the Goyim had against us. On the ruins of the eternal and air-based aristocracy of the Goyim, we have set up the aristocracy of our educated class, headed by the aristocracy of money. The entry qualifications to this aristocracy are based on wealth, which is dependent upon us, the money changers, and on knowledge, which also comes from us, especially from our learned elders who have provided such inspiration. Our victory has been made easier by the fact that whenever we sought favors from men in power, we always appealed to their most basic of desires, like cash money and all kinds of material goodies.
Y'all hear that? Let's continue.
Even one human weakness is often enough to pass control of these men over to those offering the bribes. The concept of freedom has enabled us to convince the people of all countries that their government is a servant of the people, that the people are the true owners of the country, and that the servant can be replaced like a worn-out glove.
Continue.
This possibility of replacing the representatives of the people gives us the power to appoint a new government. Protocol 2.
Okay. Let's continue.
International rights, which are the proper sense of right, the right of force. We will then rule the nations in the same way that the nations rule their citizens. The people chosen by us to act as rulers of a nation will not be those trained in the art of leadership. Instead, we'll select them based on their capacity to take orders. They'll be puppets under the control of smart men who will be their advisors, specialists bred and reared from early childhood to rule the affairs of the whole world.
Now, I hope you guys paid attention, especially to that part. Okay? This is why I say Donald Trump is bought, paid for. Joe Biden, bought and paid for. Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George Bush before him. Every single one of them bought and paid for. You could even look at one of what's his name, Joe Biden's current advisors. What Anthony Blinken? No, he's not. I don't think he's an advisor. But Anthony Blinken going to that place in the Eastern Med where Bibi works, right, as the president, and then saying, he doesn't even say, hey, here I am, let's work together. You know what he says? I come to you as not a man, but as a J3, right? As one that's from the synagogue of Satan. That's all I'm going to say. You can see that these are his words, not mine. I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. This is what he says, right? So before anything else, that is what he is. That is who he is. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. Like I said, I ain't here to talk crap about nobody, man. We just using the words. It's all, man. This is what they think. It's all good.
And their utopian beliefs in entertainment are on the memories of all that they have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Let them organize their beliefs around scientific theories. We are constantly using our media to encourage Goyim to have blind confidence in these theories. The intellectuals of the Goyim will fill their minds with the scientific knowledge without questioning its validity or usefulness. Our agent specialists have carefully determined what type of knowledge the intellectuals receive, and in this way we can steer their minds in the directions that we want. Destructive education. Do not suppose for one moment that these statements are empty words. Think carefully of the successes that we have arranged for Darwinism, Marxism, Nietzscheism. To us Jews, it should be obvious to see how destructive these ideologies have been.
Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing this? Okay. Let's continue.
On the minds of the Goyim. It is vital that we take into account the thoughts, characters, and cultural tendencies of the nations in order that we avoid making mistakes in the takeover of their political and administrative affairs.
So, okay. I want you guys to pay special attention. I know I'm saying listen, but I want y'all to pay, it is sad. It is sad. So I'm going to jump in here real quick, and then we're going to go back to what it was I was playing. Okay. 1-0. All right. Genesis 5. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, Nano. You are in the herbal. You are the herbologist. Yep. They are puppets. No. You don't, Palkus, listen. This isn't for hate, right? This is for us to hear this information, learn of this. There's many of us that don't know, right? But we need to plan properly a way forward past this. Here's what I recommend, right? One of my big recommendations is easy. Stop watching sports. If you contribute to their system by watching sports, you need to stop. I know that there's a lot that they have their hands involved in, but you need to pull away from what it is that they promote. Sports is a big one. It's a big money maker, right? And obviously professing the truth is another one. And stay true and what's that's all you can do is your part, and you can present the truth as it is. So don't be discouraged about this. Don't. Politicians are puppets of the same system. Totally agree. Oh, yeah, I know. Explanations in Bitcoin now, Lord. Yep. Oh, here we go. Oh, worth money video. Telling signs. Yeah. Now let's get back to it. Okay. Now check this out here.
In order for us to succeed, we must adjust our methods to accommodate for the cultural and regional differences of nations. Similarly, if a culture should change over time, we must change our methods to suit. The media has a great influence on people's thoughts. It was previously in the hands of sovereign governments, but it is now under our control. Our media's role is to convince people that our plans are important and to allow them to express some dissatisfaction, which will help create discontent. The media can be a powerful force for freedom of speech, but Goyim do not know how to use this force, so it always will fall into our hands.
If you don't know what Goyim is, right, that's supposed to be everyone that's not the synagogue of faith, right? Goyim is supposed to be beasts of burden, slaves, basically, nobodies, and we are to be used as beasts of burden, nobodies. Let's continue.
Through the media, we have gained the power of influence while remaining invisible. Thanks to the media, we now have the gold in our hands. Mind you, we also needed this to use an awful lot of violence and underhanded tactics to achieve this. But it was worth it, even though we had to sacrifice many of our own people. Because, after all, in the eyes of our God, one Jew is worth 1,000 goyim.
So they talk about possible, sacrificing their own folks. If you look and if you think about it, they could be talking about that thing that occurred from the 30s into the 40s, into the mid 40s. They could be talking about that occurrence, right? Sacrificing a lot of their own, right? Just so they could further their own agenda. Because you have to look like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but in 1933, something big happened, but certain people were involved. In 1933, if you look back, the U.S. had their chairman of the Fed, right? Chairman of the Federal Reserve. So you need to look at who the chairman of the Federal Reserve was. But guess what? Guess what we did in 1933? We started pulling off of the gold standard. So now our money isn't backed by anything except for faith in God, which that brings upon, like, that could possibly, if you're a strict believer of the Torah, and the scriptures, right? That should bring upon his wrath, because now you're equating the Most High, the creator of the universe, of heaven and earth, right? You're equating him to something palpable, to something tangible, to something that you can understand. When man is not to understand the mind of the creator. You understand what I'm saying? Right? But this is what we've done, and this is what we're doing. So every piece of legal tender that we own says, in God we not backed by anything except for in him. Now we've taken every piece of that paper or that coinage, and we basically limits that being. And even though there's high inflation, there's still a limited. No matter how much we print, how much we mint, there's still a limit to how much there is, even though the creator of the universe is a limitless being. Let's continue.
Protocol 3.
All right. So let's continue here. Man, this is a little bit heavy, I understand, but just follow and bear with me a little bit. I'm not trying to make your night a tough night, but this is it's important that we discuss this, and it's important that more of us discuss this. You know what I'm saying? And we do it without fear, because like we've come to a point now to where things are so expensive and things are so ridiculous. People need to hear the truth, and make informed decisions, not just informed decisions.
Political forces to turn against one another. This breaks up their libertarian desires towards seeking independence. To this end, we have stirred up every political, social, and minority group. We have armed all sides. We have labeled authority as a target for every ambition. We have turned parliaments into gladiatorial arenas where many confused issues brawl. With a bit more of this, disorders and bankruptcy will be universal across this planet. Parliaments and administrative boards have been turned into oratorical contests.
Pretty much, you see how they be going in the Indian Parliament, the African Union, African Parliament, how they just go and it doesn't matter. Like now, we've been seeing that in our Congress as well, right? We've been seeing the back and forth between the ladies, just cat fights and everything else. It doesn't matter, because they're all players. They're all pawns, right? And they're all bought and paid for. It's freaking sad, but it's the truth. Sad, but it's the truth. Let's see. Here we go.
How does it help the low-class laborer if people are given freedom of speech but only use it to babble? Or if journalists have the right to scribble any nonsense? Abuses of power will be the final touch in preparing all institutions for their overthrow. Everything will then fall to pieces under the attacks of the angry mobs. Poverty is our weapon. Due to the ever-present threat of poverty, all and serfdom. Well, perhaps they could save enough money to escape from their daily grind, but they would never have enough to afford what they truly want. We included some rights for the people into the Constitution, which are fictitious and are not actual rights. All these so-called people's rights can exist only as an idea which can never be.
All right. Say this video in the chat. Yes, I can, yeah. Let me see if you guys will see it. Let me see if you guys can see this video. I can link this in the chat. Yeah. You go ahead and drop this in here. Let me know if you see it. It is in the chat right now. Let me know if you guys see it. Hopefully you do. Okay. Now this stuff is pretty, it's not, it ain't what y'all wanted to hear on a Tuesday night, but y'all gonna have to hear it. Y'all gonna have to get a nice full brunt. But I got more where that's coming. I got more where that's coming from. I got more. You know what I'm saying? I got more. More where that's coming from. So okay, so you see it, good. That's where that's at. Make sure to give that dude a thumbs up, man, because he did some yeoman's work. And I'm also going to present something from a PDF in the chat as well. Not the chat, but the description box. Doggone. Yeah, it'll either be in the comment section or the description box. You'll have that in print format, PDF format, where you can also read it for yourselves. Okay, you can read it for yourselves. This was Freedom of Information Act release from the FBI. So I know this isn't what you wanted to hear. This is not what you wanted to hear. This is something you got to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing my part. That's all. It ain't fun and it ain't pretty, but it's definitely necessary. All right. So let's get back to it. Okay, here we go. Okay, that one's done.
The people, under our guidance, have annihilated their aristocracy, who were their one and only defense and foster mother.
The Romanov doctrine, you guys remember it? Well, the Bolshevik Revolution, there's a lot of speculation as to who kicked it off, right? We had Marx, the father of communism and everything else. He's ideals is basically what brought upon modern communism in that time, in Russia at that time. And then they basically usurped the throne, killed the whole Romanov dynasty, the whole family, and people thought that that's what they. Turns out that's not at all what the Russian people wanted. But let's continue.
Who could have worked for the sake of the people's advantage, and who were inseparably bound with the well-being of the people.
All right, let's continue.
Of the workers. We appear on the scene as alleged saviors of the worker from this oppression. Then we propose that he join the ranks of our fighting forces, socialists, anarchists, communists, to whom we always give support in accordance with an alleged brotherly rule.
Listen.
Of the solidarity of all humanity, of our social masonry. The aristocracy, which lawfully enjoyed the labor of the workers, was interested in seeing that the workers were well-fed, healthy, and strong. We are interested in just the opposite, in the decline and killing of the goyim. Our power is in the chronic shortness of food and physical weakness of the worker, because by this he will become our slave. He will have neither the strength nor the energy nor the inclination to oppose us. Hunger surely gives us more authority to rule the worker than the legal authority given to the aristocracy by the rule of kings.
What do we see happening now? What do we see happening now? Bill Gates buying all this land, BlackRock buying all these homes, buying all this land, right? Not just here, abroad, continents, Africa, out there, buying all these farms. We see this happening everywhere you turn. Zach, you have a good night, bro. You have a good night. Be safe, right? Everywhere you turn, something crazy like this is happening. And like I said, man, this ain't pretty, but it's definitely necessary and definitely something that we need to swallow. We're going to have to hear. We're going to have to, I think we need to hear this more often than we don't hear it. Because unfortunately, this is the truth this is the truth. This is our world now. This is where we live. And either we do something, right? And we learn the truth, or we do nothing at all. And we just lay on our haunches, watch football, drink Starbucks, eat McDonald's, and just take it. I don't know. Let's continue.
We will highlight the differences of wealth between the rich and the poor, the 1% against the 99%. The emotions of envy and hatred, which will then arise in the poor due to their want of the wealth, will be whipped into a mob frenzy. Through their hands we shall wipe out all those who hinder us on our way. When the hour strikes for our sovereign Lord of the entire world to be crowned, it is these same hands which will sweep away everything that might be a hindrance to us.
Yep. Let's go right here.
Not there. They will find themselves stuck like a blind man on a host of stumbling blocks. They have rushed to find a guide. They never had the sense to return to the former state, and they have laid down their full sovereign powers at our feet. Remember the French Revolution, to which it was we who gave the prefix of great. The secrets of its preparations are well known to us, for it was wholly the work of our hands that set it into motion. At the present day, we are, as an international force, invincible, because if attacked by some state, we will be supported by other states. The Goyim people are rascals who bow down but to force, but are merciless toward weaknesses in others, unforgiving of their faults, and enjoy committing crimes. They cannot bear the contradictions of a free social system, but are willing to become martyrs in the face of the violence of bold despotism.
All right, so it was a tough one. This is tough, man. This is tough. This is not what you want to be hearing, especially on a Tuesday night. I got it, but like I said, I got it, but I also got more for you. So I told you guys that this is a pretty significant week. I'm sure you guys know already a little bit about me, a little bit about my history. I spent years, right? 23 or so years in the service. So I wanted to do you guys a solid tonight and read you guys a little something. So if you don't know, listen, and then I'll explain here at the end what this is. McGonagall remained on a bridge. Rather than meet in a wardroom for his usual critique, the skipper planned to talk to his officers individually later in the afternoon, though he had failed to alert his men gathered below the change. Lieutenant J.G. Lloyd Painter, a 26-year-old intel O from California, studied the radar at 1:55 and helped determine spy targets, noted that the Liberty sailed 17 and a half miles from shore, as much on the spy ship's closest assigned operating area. Painter asked if he should correct the ship's course. McGonagall checked the Liberty's position. He sighted the minaret at El Arish, approximately 25 miles away. So if you don't know, 25 miles at that distance from a ship, right, is roughly like 420 miles of curvature to see a spinneret. So unless that thing is 400 miles high or 400 feet, tall, then he shouldn't be able to see it. Lookout station above the bridge interrupted the discussion. Two fighters zoomed towards the Liberty. McGonigal, the ship's skipper, grabbed his binoculars and headed into the starboard wing to investigate. 5 to 6 miles out, the skipper spotted a fighter. The jet dropped to 7,000 feet as it raced on a parallel course towards the spy ship. Others on the bridge, including Lieutenant Commander Armstrong, crowded around the portholes or joined the skipper on the wing. Lieutenant Jim O'Connor and Lieutenant Jim Ennis Jr., both intellos, had just finished watch. Intellos or intelligence officers had just finished watch. Climbed the ladder to the flying bridge above for a better view. Another sailor grabbed the Nikon camera. Ensign Patrick O'Malley studied the radar. O'Malley, the ship's assistant operations officer, had just arrived on the bridge to begin his shift as the JOOD, or the junior officer of the day. He spotted more activity on the radar screen. 3 blips now appeared, closing in fast on the Liberty. O'Malley summoned Painter, who peered down at the green radar screen. The older officer recognized the attack formation. He yelled to McGonigal, "We've got 3 unidentified vessels, steady bearing range, coming right at us, sir." McGonigal remained focused on the approaching fighter. Binoculars pressed to his eyes. Plane had reconned the Liberty all day. He had personally witnessed several of the flights, but this felt wrong, all wrong. The skipper turned to Painter. "You better call the forward gun mounts," he ordered. "I think they're going to attack." Painter grabbed the sound-powered phone to alert the gunners to the jets. Through one of the forward portholes, Painter knew the guns would prove powerless against supersonic jet fighters, obviously. The planes traveled too fast for the gunners to manually sight the guns, limited 1-mile range. Painter pressed the phone to his ears. Twice he raised the gunners but failed, his frustrations mounting. The jets bore down on the ship. On the 3rd try, Painter reached them. The gun mounts 5-1 and 5-2. Painter watched as the fighters dropped out of the sky before he could complete his sentence. He had no time to warn his men. "The kids, really," he would later say. The gun tubs vanished in a cloud of smoke and metal. The sail was blown apart with such a force that friends could only identify one by his St. Christopher necklace. The explosion happened so fast that Painter would later tell the investigating board that he couldn't determine whether the fighters hit the starboard or the port gun first. He now stared at the charred machine guns and the phone still clutched in his hands. The fighters zeroed in on the bridge, strafing the command hub with rockets and 30 Mike guns. The forward portholes exploded, sending glass, metal, and flying debris throughout the bridge. The quartermaster, who stood next to Painter, collapsed to the deck, bloodied with shrapnel wounds. O'Connor, on a flying bridge above, dove to the deck for safety, and shrapnel ripped into his back. He tumbled down the ladder to the bridge below. Shrapnel had broken his left femur about 5 inches above the knee. Blood soon soaked his left side of the uniform from dozens of shrapnel wounds as he hopped down. The skipper, who had raced in from the wing at the start of the shore, acrid smoke flooded the bridge. In the confusion, O'Malley heard someone shout, "GQ, GQ." He repeated the call. The young officer turned to the skipper next to him, and in combination of shock and naivete, asked if McGonigal wanted him to sound in general quarters. The skipper confirmed, "Hell yeah." O'Malley reached up and hit the alarm, but no one on the Liberty needed the alarm to alert him to the attack. The officers and crew raced to battle stations as the jets, later identified as French-made Mirage fighters, banked and prepared for another attack. The fighters destroyed the Liberty's machine guns, knocked out the antennae, and targeted the bridge to kill the officers and spark chaos amongst the crews. Shells smashed portholes, ripped gashes into doors, and left basketball-sized craters on the bridge, deck, and the smokestacks. Dead and injured sailors. One sailor, with 2.5 feet of his colon blown out by shrapnel, used his own blood to cool his burning skin. Even far below decks, explosive rounds and shrapnel zinged through bulkheads and ruptured vent pipes, lodged into bulkheads, and busted lights. The ship's internal communications, including the PA or the 1MC for all you sailors out there, PA system, many of the sound-powered phone circuits soon malfunctioned and fried. Runners darted through the smoke-filled passages to relay orders to repair parties, firefighters, and engine rooms as the jets crisscrossed the spy ship nearly every 45 seconds. McGonagall grabbed the engine order telegram, a pedestal that stood in the center of the bridge that allowed him to order speed changes with a lever. Bell's 5 deck below, in the engine room, would alert crews there to increase speed. Now, there's a problem. The skipper threw the lever to flank speed, ordering max power. The Liberty had trolled all morning at 5 knots, or just under 6 miles per hour. Compared to a supersonic fighter, the spy ship might as well have just been sitting duck. One of the ship's 2 boilers was still offline. With only 1 boiler, McGonagall knew the Liberty's max speed was only about 11 knots. To protect his crew and the ship, McGonagall needed max speed of 18 knots. Even that slow, but fighters would have a harder time targeting the Liberty at full speed. At that speed, also, it would allow him the flexibility to execute evasive procedures such as zigzagging. McGonagall shouted at his officers to broadcast an emergency message that the Liberty was under attack by unidentified fighters and needed immediate help. Below the bridge on the port side, 2 55-gallon gasoline drums ignited. Fire raged on the deck, engulfed deflated life rafts stored nearby in metal racks. Clouds of black smoke flooded the bridge. The only breathable air hovered inches above the deck. The skipper could deal with the smoke, but he feared the gasoline drums might explode. The only solution, jettison the barrels into the sea. However, flames blocked access to the quick release lever on the port side. McGonagall recognized that somebody would have to climb down the deck and knock the drums overboard. He turned to his XO. Armstrong didn't hesitate. He darted out of the starboard side off the bridge and grabbed the ladder. But there was no protection from the fighters. The rocket and the cannon fire, as McGonagall would later write to Armstrong's wife, had proven overwhelmingly accurate. The explosion threw him to the deck. The force broke 3 bones in his right leg and 2 in his left. He couldn't move, but he was still alive. O'Connor lay at the bottom of the ladder, where he had fallen from the flying bridge above. Shrapnel riddled his back. He had no feeling from the waist down. He couldn't stand up, much less fight. O'Connor realized that he had to get out of the way of his uninjured colleagues, so he dragged himself across the metal deck, now covered in shards of glass and twisted metal, to the CIC, Combat Information Center, located through a door in the rear of the bridge. There he found other injured sailors. Shrapnel tore through the bulkheads. A spent round landed on the deck between him and another sailor. He stared at it. O'Connor had a wife and a child back home in Virginia Beach. His son would celebrate his first birthday on Sunday, 3 days from now. His wife, Sandy, was 3 months pregnant with their second son. O'Connor watched blood pool around him on the deck. He felt like he was going to die. Ensign O'Malley suddenly appeared before him. The young officer and the ship's secretary noted the blood, but saw no injuries on O'Connor's chest. He gently felt along O'Connor's back and discovered two large holes. O'Connor instructed him to peel off his shirt and stuff it inside the wounds to slow the bleeding. Lieutenant Stephen Toth stood in the door to the CIC, Information Center, clutching a camera in one hand. 27-year-old navigator told O'Malley he planned to climb to a flying bridge to photograph the fighters. Liberty still did not know he wanted O'Malley to join if he didn't get that part. The young officer refused. O'Malley told Toth not to go either, but the navigator was determined. Though normally quiet and reserved, Toth could be stubborn, often at inopportune times. His refusal to compromise had led him to divorce his beautiful Brazilian wife, whom he had married soon after graduating from the Naval Academy. He wanted the couple to return to where her family planned to set Toth up in a business. Toth had refused. Toth had likely felt his own family pressures. He had instead urged his new bride to stay with him in the United States. Neither would compromise. Hours after the divorce was finalized, the couple had checked into a Virginia Beach motel for one last night together. O'Malley urged Toth one last time not to go up to the flying bridge. It was suicide. He would be totally exposed to the rocket and cannon fire. Toth again refused. O'Malley would see the navigator only one more time. Later that afternoon, several stories below the flying bridge, O'Malley would zip Toth's remains inside of a black body. O'Malley watched Toth turn and disappear toward the ladder, camera in hand. When he reached the top, Toth towered over the battered ship. If he looked toward the bow, the young officer would have seen the destroyed gun tubs along with the bodies of his shipmates and the blood trails that stained the deck. He would have watched firefighters spraying the raging infernos. He would have witnessed stretcher bearers already out of litters using mattresses and blankets to haul the wounded and dead below. As Toth looked up, he would have seen the brilliant afternoon sun and the clear blue skies interrupted only by the smoke from the chaos below. He would have felt the warm Mediterranean sun on his face and a gentle breeze that on any other day would have been divine. So that is 5 pages from a book by James Scott called The Attack on the Liberty. Now, why Saturday, June 8th, it will be the 57. This will be the 57-year anniversary of the USS Liberty massacre. A lot of people call it an incident. Some people call it an attack. It was a massacre. These sailors had no way to properly defend themselves. These sailors were not warned, and they were killed. Many of them. Not what ended up happening is they ended up losing 34 folks, right? Sailors, Marines, as well as civilians. So it wasn't just people in the military, these were civilians as well. So sailors, Marines, and civilians to a tune of 34 that died. You had 172 that were actually injured during the USS Liberty incident. This was something that ended up becoming declassed, I guess you could say declassified, in 1997, where they ended up having their anniversary that year. In 1997, it was obviously a 30-year anniversary. William McGonagall, he ended up becoming the captain, and he ended up earning the Medal of Honor. But the government didn't give it to him in a public ceremony. And when he got his medal, he couldn't tell anybody where he got his medal. Okay. So this is something that has been lost to American history. Just think of all the things that you learn, right? You learn about George Washington being the first president, which that winds up being not true. You learn about the Lusitania, which much of that story is not true. You learn about the Gulf of Tonkin, which much of that's not true. You learn about all these things in history that isn't true, but they couldn't pay any of our fallen comrades, any of our best and brightest. It doesn't matter when it was, but they couldn't pay homage to a bunch of men, many that are still alive, right? Many of these, maybe not many, but some of these men are still alive to this day. And one of them was on the Jimmy Dore show just the other day, speaking on the USS Liberty, and they shut down his website that same day. And his name is Phil Torney, and he wrote a book called "I Know What I Saw That." This isn't what. Yeah, but it's between what we want to hear and what we have to hear, right? Sure, some of this is entertainment, I guess you could say, but at the end of the day, we're here for the truth. We're here to provide the truth. And the truth is, oftentimes it's not pretty and it doesn't feel good, but it's like putting alcohol on a wound. And that's the only way we can heal these wounds and clean these wounds is by hearing the truth, knowing how to move forward from learning about the truth. So again, and this is something that Israel never had to pay for. They didn't, they were never held accountable for their actions. They often come out and they say it was a mistake. We thought it was an Egyptian ship. That's absolute bullshit. They knew what the Egyptian ship was, and the Egyptian ship was like 50 times, not 50 times, that's an exaggeration, but it was many times smaller than the actual USS Liberty. The USS Liberty, where it was in proximity to everything, was a few miles north of the Sinai Peninsula. And the way the Sinai Peninsula looks, it looks like a shark's tooth, right? Inside the Mediterranean, and then beneath it you have the Red Sea, and then you have the Suez Canal on the left, and then you have the Gulf of Aqaba to the right. And so I'd show it to you, but you guys, if you've seen where Israel is, right, south and then west of there, you would find the Sinai area, Gaza, the Sinai Peninsula, and all that. So it's heavy. It's heavy. It's not the usual excitement that we have in our chat. It's not the usual excitement that I'm used to dealing with. But anytime I read something like that or I see that, yeah, I feel angry. I feel very angry. But this just strengthens my resolve. And you gotta understand, right? And just even if these were just Marines, right? It hits different when you know that these people are still alive. So it just strengthens my resolve to do what it is that I'm doing on a weekly basis or whenever I make a video and to you guys the truth and to give you guys the truth of where it is rooted. Because there it is. We mentioned the protocols of the elders, the learned elders of Zulu, India, Oscar, November, right? And why that's important to know that. You have these publications like the Tango, Alpha, Lima, Mike, Uniform, Delta. You know what it is. The Raul Mood, but with a T instead of an R in the beginning. So they have that publication as well. I'm not here to pick on anybody. I'm just here to tell the truth. And so their own words, use them against them. Right? You want to rout out evil wherever it is. You want to point out the synagogue of Satan wherever they are. And if that's what they believe and that's how they want to operate, we need to call them out. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to be here forever. And some of us, many of us have children. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be on a soapbox right now, but this is we're in a dark spot tonight. Let's call it like it is. We're in a dark spot. So I went ahead and I dropped that invite in the chat. So if you want to come on board, Let's talk about it. But like I said, this Saturday is going to be the 57-year anniversary of the USS Liberty incident. You have been still alive, and they don't celebrate an anniversary as any sailor normally would when they spend time doing doing cruises and doing their years and tours on a ship. But to them, it's more like a memorial service. It's more like they're going for 57-year memorial service, and it's very somber for these guys. And I can imagine that a lot of these men died on that day, June 8th, 1967. They left behind spouses, right? And their spouses could still be alive to this day, still seeking justice and not getting a drop of it. They may have grandchildren now, and they may have their children and stuff, and then their children go missing a father, missing a son, missing a husband. Well, not the children, but I'm saying their wives and their parents and stuff like that, missing a brother. And now this is a reality, and country, we know who they are. They're an Eastern men. They've given everybody trouble these days. We know who they are, and they still have yet to pay for their crimes. They still have yet to pay for it, and this is what we continue to get from that nation. And we're being told that what we're seeing isn't what we're seeing. We're being told that what we're experiencing isn't what we're experiencing. Now, I talk about this on a True Earth Tuesday because this reflects much of what we're dealing with now in the True Earth community. And I don't call it flat Earth. I call it the truth because it is the true Earth, whether you want to believe it or not. This is not how it functions. That is not how it functions. Every pilot will tell you that. Every ship navigator, captain will tell you that is not how it functions. Every map that we have is on an equidistant azimuthal projected map. That's how it is built. That's how it's arranged because that's how this world functions, right? Many of those lies that we get, you can just tie that into the rest of the stuff that we're experiencing now. You might as well throw it in there. You might as well throw it in there. And if that doesn't annoy you to bring you to action, to do something, to say something, then you really need to crack open the ammonia, the smelling salts. You need to wake up, people. You need to wake up. It's not a joke. None of this is a joke. As I mentioned earlier, if you're late coming in, we're working on an experiment. Well, not an experiment, excuse me, rather a project. And it's gonna take up a little bit of our time. Vika Draziv, the creator of the mechanical realm, he is an integral part of this experiment. Matter of fact, this project rather. This was his idea, right? And I just said, yo, let's do it. Let's stop talking about it. Let's stop bullshitting. Let's make it happen. Let's bring it to life. And he agreed, and a few other men agreed, and we're getting to work on it. this is what I'm talking about, man. This is not a game. This flat earth thing, this true earth thing, whatever you want to call it, it's not a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's a way of life because this is life. You understand? Maybe many of you guys might think that, oh, it's not serious, it's a joke, or we're just here for a time. I understand that. We're just here for a time, right? But as we're here, we might as well live properly based off of what we know the truth to be. You might as well get that information, and you might as well get that information out to those that you love and those that you hate, and those that you're going to meet to love and potentially hate. I don't know. I don't know. You got it, man. Anytime, brother. I'm gonna drop that link one more time. I know, man. This ain't usually peppy, crazy me, right? All over the place. But the USS Liberty is just a testament to when you get lied to over and over again, you have to say, you got to draw a line in the sand, and you need to say, I've had enough. You need to at some point say, I'm done with it. And then you start telling everybody the truth because it's the truth, whether they like it or not. Okay, whether they talk crap to you, you're gonna come to a point where you just profess the truth because it's either the truth or there's nothing else. I hate to have to sound that way, but things changed things didn't necessarily change when I learned the liberty, right? I thought things had changed when 9/11 happened, which they did, right? But this has changed me. I don't know what it's done for many of you. Maybe you guys could give me your testimony, but I know what it's done for me and how much and how profound an effect it's had on me in my life, right? To where I don't look at life nearly as the same. I don't read the Bible nearly as the same. Right? Things have changed for me, and it's probably even taken a physical effect on me. Which I let it come. I let it do what it do, so to speak. But if you haven't felt a change because of what this place is, then maybe you're not. Maybe even you've already known it's been like this the whole time. Maybe you have. I don't know. Maybe I don't know you that well. Or maybe you just really don't understand the profound effects that it has on not just our lives in this chat, but the world in general. The amount of change that there's a potential for that, right? Once people come to realize where it is we live in, who's lying to us, who is lying to us. And it's not just one specific group of people, but it just so happens to be the same players every single time. And you need to wake up out of your numb state if you haven't woken up, or those that haven't woken up need to wake up, right? If they want to do something about it. There we go. And that's another channel, guys. If you haven't seen Eric Dubay, I highly recommend him. And that's, hey, baby, that's all we need. And so let me stop bumping my gums. Let's watch a little bit of Eric Dubay. Thank you, Nano CBD. Let's watch a little bit of Eric Dubay talking about evidence and proof. I like Eric Dubay. He's got some really good stuff. If you haven't subscribed, I highly recommend him. Boom. Boom. Let's do it. When evidence becomes proof.
Having spent the past decade attempting to prove one of the most unpopular postulates in modern times, one glaring shortcoming with science and the scientific method has become apparent. The meaning of the words evidence and proof, and the acceptance of the latter, are hopelessly subjective and open to interpretation. For example, Merriam-Webster defines evidence as an outward sign or indication that furnishes proof, and then defines proof as the cogency of evidence that compels acceptance by the mind of a truth or a fact. In other words, Evidence is something that furnishes proof, and proof is whenever someone accepts a preponderance of evidence as actually being the truth. The problem with this is that when truth runs counter to people's long-standing preconceptions, beliefs, and biases, no matter how much or how conclusive the evidence presented, they can, and very often will, refuse to accept it as proof. In 1885, William Carpenter published his book 100 Proofs That the Earth is Not a Globe, which inspired me 130 years later to write and publish my book 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball. Upon the release of Carpenter's book, many readers were swayed by the evidence provided and agreed that his arguments furnished absolute that Earth could not possibly be a globe. Since the release beneath our feet could actually be a tilting, wobbling, spinning oblate spheroid.
Now, what's crazy about that is you have to now with that's 100 years, that's 100+ years where we were fooled. And it's like, where did all the time go? What were we doing in between that time? Well, you have to see what happened during that 100 years. Revolutions. We had a couple of wars. Actually, we had a bunch of wars. We had a remember the Little Rascals? I'm sure you guys remember the Little Rascals when we were coming up. You had that happen. You had a bunch of kids being brought into the U.S. and around the world, just orphanages, right? Just weird times. There were weird things happening in this country, and a lot of history was lost, and a lot of history was changed, right? And we were fed something other than the truth. But now we're starting to come to our senses. Now we're starting to chip away at this, and we're starting to come to what the truth actually is of this place, what it constitutes of, and how it came to be.
The vast majority, however, indoctrinated by heliocentric pseudoscience and blinded by generational brainwashing, could be shown 10,000 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball, and due to cognitive dissonance, Dunning-Kruger effect, and other psychological barriers, still be unable to accept the new information. By comparison, doing a Google search for globe Earth proofs, the most I could find gathered in one place is only 10. So quantitatively, mine and Carpenter's books are furnishing 10 to 20 times more proof in our pudding than the globe has available anywhere. Not all 10 of the supposed globe proofs offered, such as circumnavigation, ships disappearing over the horizon, and Foucault's pendulums, are thoroughly debunked within my 200 Proofs book. But what about qualitatively? Most agree quality is more important than quantity anyway, so are the few globe proofs offered better reasoned and more conclusive than the alternative? Herein lies the rub. The answer to this question is completely subjective and open to the interpretation of each individual. One person will read both the popular science article 10 Ways You Can Tell the Earth is Round and my book 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball, then claim the evidence provided in the latter was far more veracious and conclusive than the former. Meanwhile, another person will also read both, and they will form the exact opposite conclusion. Science and the scientific method present themselves as the gold standard for arriving at objective truth, but the inherent subjectivity of the scientists and the psychological biases of others interpreting the evidence is a wild card so variable as to render most results inconclusive. Hence, there are almost always scientists on both sides of diametrically opposed, mutually exclusive issues who both believe they have proof for their claims. In reality, only one of them can be correct, but both believe they have logic, reason, and demonstrable results on their side. For example, whenever two non-uniform pressure systems are not separated by a solid physical barrier, they will always quickly equilibrate. When you puncture a hole in a spray canister, the aerosol swiftly sprays out until the pressure inside and outside the can are equal. When you open the door to a vacuum chamber, the artificial vacuum created inside instantly disappears and evens out. This is a provable, repeatable, demonstrable scientific fact of reality, and hundreds or thousands of experiments would reveal the same results. A higher and lower pressure system are not separated from one another by a solid membrane or physical container of some sort, the higher pressure system will rush into the space of the lower until they equilibrate. Scientists will nod their heads in unanimous agreement about this obvious proven fact until you present them with one further example: Earth's atmosphere and the infinite vacuum of outer space. In the heliocentric model, the Earth globe, with all the other ball planets in the ever-expanding universe, unique atmospheres separated only by the vacuum of space.
What they can't demonstrate. That right there, they can't do it. They can't do it, right? So the vacuum of space, especially out there, fifth lunar space, is supposed to be 10 to the negative 17 torr. Torr is basically what you measure the atmospheres with. But negative 17 because you lose atmosphere as you climb in elevation. You lose atmosphere, you lose air pressure. So with that extreme loss of air pressure, the most replicate here on Earth is 10 to the negative 6 torr. And that's at the Sandusky labs I think it's in Ohio, right? The Sandusky laboratories have walls upon walls of concrete, steel, and everything else just to maintain that pressure system in there. And that's not even half of what the moon can replicate, of what the moon supposedly has. So now you have to talk about those NASA astronauts that went there. I'm not even talking about all the gas systems that went there, right? Those astronauts, their spacesuits, those O2 tanks that they had, the freaking capsule that they were in, that's a gaseous space, right? The camera, how did the camera even survive in that environment in space? It couldn't. It couldn't. Even the camera with the film can't make it. Have you guys ever I don't know. So I did a little bit of photography and stuff like that. What happens after you take the film out of a dark room? It loses its efficacy. It loses all of its efficacy. You take a film and you expose that chemical that's in that film to light, it's done. It's useless at this point. So that's why you use a red light room or a dark room and to make your exposures and stuff like that with a roll of film. They didn't have digital films back then. At least I don't think they did. They didn't have digital film in the 60s to use in their Hasselblad containment with their Hasselblad cameras, which are like special. If you know anything about German photography, that stuff is through the roof. It's off the chain. It's like top of the line. This isn't like a Kodak that they were using or Minolta or anything like that. No, this was a top of the line camera equipment to use supposedly on the moon that somehow made it with all that radiation that you received going through the Van Allen belts, coming back through the Van Allen belt, not to mention the radiation that you're exposed to. But here's another thing. They don't even talk about the dosage of radiation that these guys are receiving while on the moon. They're not talking about the dosage of radiation that these guys are receiving while going through the Van Allen belts. Like nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talked about it, right? I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but when I was on a day's submarine, and I had to go, especially if I had to go in the aft area where the reactor is, I had to go back aft where propulsion and everything is. Excuse me. We had to use dosimetry. If you were going back there, you had to make sure. Actually, everybody on the boat, we all had our dosimeters. Dosimeter is this little didgeridoo, hickory dickory dock looking thing, like this big. And it is it has a little crystal in it, right? And when you are exposed to any kind of radiation, that crystal absorbs that radiation. Now, as you receive the crystal, as you receive your exposed radiation, as it passes through that crystal, wherever you are on the submarine, right? After a while, they can take your dosimeter and then they can measure the amount of radiation that you received wherever wherever you are while you're wearing that dosimeter, right? So everybody wears one because if there's a radioactive leak somewhere or something like that, then they're supposed to be getting more radiation than the average person. I can tell you, you can get more radiation being around granite. You can get more radiation being in a super sunny environment. You could probably get more radiation getting a radioisotope dumped on you, possibly while you're wearing that dosimeter. But at the same time, these things are measurable. You know what I'm saying? You could take your dosimeter, wear it, stand in front of the microwave, and then go and get read. And they call that reading while you have that dosimeter on you. They call reading getting your body's rank. I guess you could say rentgen. That's the body equivalent of receiving radiation. So they can measure the amount of rentgen that you've received, and they call it hugging the pig. And basically, it's an internal monitor that checks to see how much radiation you were exposed to within a certain period. And then if your charts are through the roof, which I would imagine those guys traveling through space through the Van Allen radiation belts, through the cosmic radiation, through standing on the dang moon, not being protected by anything, and just getting blasted with the coronal CME, coronal mass ejection from time to time, right? You would imagine that these dudes were grounded. They were kept from doing anything because here's the thing: is after you get exposed, you receive a certain amount of radiation that they read in your system. If you've been exposed way too much, they ground you. They keep you from doing whatever duty it was that you were originally doing, right? That made you get exposed like that in the first place. So they keep your ass in check, and you can't go nowhere. You can't do anything. Let's continue with the show.
There is no solid barrier or physical container between the atmospheres of the Earth and the other planets and the outer space vacuum that surrounds them. Astronauts claim to leave our atmosphere gradually, and then, after reaching an imaginary area approximately 62 miles high called the Kármán line, they say they have now left the atmosphere and are officially in outer space. So unlike every experiment ever devised, which shows two pressure systems must be separated by a solid barrier or else quickly equilibrate, special exception is made for Earth and space. Somehow, Earth's atmosphere just magically maintains its pressure until gradually becoming the vacuum of outer space. Currently, less than 600 people in history have claimed to have left Earth's atmosphere, and as shown in my book, The Flat Earth Conspiracy, most of them are admitted Freemasons, oath-bound members of the largest and oldest secret.
Looks like I lost y'all for a little bit. Let's get back to it.
Provide a demonstration of a positive pressure system existing adjacent to a negative pressure system without a solid separation between them, but yet they will throw away the entire scientific method in favor of the testimony of astronauts. This is just one example, and there are hundreds more, where the subjective limitations of science and the scientific method are made apparent. No matter how much evidence is provided in favor of a proposition, and no matter how little evidence provided against it, many people can and will still refuse to relent. There is no objective standard for what constitutes proof. It is open to the interpretation of each individual exactly when a preponderance of evidence has crossed the imaginary line between theory and truth. This, more than any other reason, is why the globe Earth theory is still believed by the majority.
I want y'all to read that. Look at that. Nobody wakes up and decides to start claiming the earth is flat and endures endless ridicule for the hell of it. Ain't that the damn truth? It is rather an unavoidable conclusion after thoroughly examining the evidence. Nobody wants to be. Nobody just falls into being a flat earther. This is, I mean, it's a good, what y'all think, but I feel it's totally worth it. This is a journey I enjoy with you, right? It's not easy. I lost employment because of this. I lost a job. It is what it is, man. The truth is what it is. And I'm not going to just lie because I lost the job. No, I'm going to keep telling the truth. It is what it is. Let's continue.
They have already accepted a plethora of pseudoscientific hypotheses as being proven beyond reproach, so no number of demonstrations or debates will sway them from their chosen conclusion.
Eric Dubé, everybody. Eric Dubé. Yeah, Eric Dubé is awesome. Eric Dubé is always awesome. He always has some good stuff that he comes out with, and he's totally worth listening to and watching. Now, if it wasn't for Eric Dubé, I don't know where we would be in the True Earth community. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea where, if a lot of us would have gotten this far or got much information this soon. Because even though he's put it out, it was here before he came around. Somebody just decided to look, and thank God that it was him. It was him. Thank God. Thank God. Now you have a bunch of us that have sprouted, and now our focus and our attention is where it needs to be, where the truth is, right? Um, but even Eric Dubé doesn't necessarily trust. Apparently, there's a little bit of a rift. Eric Dubé there's a little bit of a rift from what I'm hearing. I don't know. I'm not trying to start anything up, but he doesn't trust some people. I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when we've all been lied to. It's hard to trust anybody for anything that's trying to give you some kind of news other than the stuff that you picked up and you learned. Right? Especially something. This is a hot potato. The True Earth is a hot potato topic, man. Like dudes get hold of it and then they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're doing what we do, right? We're expressing the truth. We're explaining the truth. But a lot of people don't even want to touch it, man. A lot of people are like, hell no, don't bring that to my dang news. Like Alex, y'all see what Alex Jones is doing? He's at the death throes right now. You see how he's acting, right? Tucker Carlson is like, oh, I'll think about it, but he don't want to touch it. Oh, he's like, look, they fired me from Fox. If I start talking about that, he doesn't want to talk about it. Redacted doesn't talk about it. Jimmy Dore doesn't want to talk about it. What does that tell you? Like this topic is off the chain. You got those three: Redacted, Tucker Carlson, Jimmy Dore. These dudes. I give Stu Peterson props. I give you props. That sounded like a tongue twister. I give Stu Peterson props. Peter Piper picked a pickle peppers, pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked. But yeah, it just sounds crazy and wild because these guys are like some of the top and prominent shows on the tube, on BoobTube. You know who else is another one? Russell Brand. You don't hear him talking about it. You hear what's her name? Damn, I got these dang insects flying in here, man. But you hear what's her name? What's her name that got fired from Shapiro's show? Candace Owens. She hadn't said nothing about it, and she's supposed to be all about the truth. Kanye West. He hadn't said nothing about it. He's supposed to be all about the truth, right? But these people with such prominence, this is why I lose a lot of faith in these quote unquote freaking news people. Because if you really wanted to tell some news, you tell the news about where the hell it is we live. But a lot of them ain't even trying to go there. Alex Jones has always been fringe. I guess you could say to some degree fringe news, right? And Alex Jones was trying to play it off like, but we know he knows that what this realm is, man. We know what it is. We know what it is. But then you got those that have the platforms. And this is why, you see, this is why I played, right? Because I wanted you of mine that with the money is such a driving force for many of us, right? The money is such a driving force. It cripples you. It cripples you. Look at what just happened a few years ago. Like every week I talk about it. And no, you're absolutely right. The truth is not open to opinion. It's not. But this is what that's right. But look at what happened a few years ago, right? I'm not going to get into the details because they're probably not going to let me publish this thing tonight. But whatever, we're live anyway, baby. Oh yeah, by the way, if you hadn't liked, please come in and like on your way in. Give me a thumbs up, right? Or give me a thumbs down. But don't give me a thumbs down. Just give me a thumbs up, right? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, and yeah, but that money is such a driving force. Joe Rogan, you thought you could trust him. As soon as Neil deGrasse Tyson got on his show, Joe Rogan, he couldn't do it no more. Joe Rogan couldn't do it. Joe Rogan couldn't hack it. And so after he did the Coco thing, um, he went to a different platform altogether. And he's doing his show elsewhere. He's making all kinds of money. But at the same time, he's not going balls in on the truth. He's not. It's that money. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Joe took the money to be a globetrot. Just like, and this is not a frugal. Yo, look, man. Ain't nobody making money off the true earth. Nobody is. I'm definitely not. I'm not looking to. My thing is, I'm not looking to make any money. It's not. It's. I'm not. I have other ways that I can make money. This, no, not at all. I don't feel that this is a waste of time. You shouldn't feel that it's a waste of sitting here conversing with you, going back, going forth towards you, giving you my truth, right? Or the truth. You don't have to believe me, but the evidence is out there right before you. This is why I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you what I can give you. Everything else is speculative, I guess. I don't know, right? You use your better judgment. But you have those out there with the platform. You have those out with the bodies and the numbers. That money makes them do something that maybe they don't want to do. Those people, man, they look good, they smell good, they walking all tall. As soon as you tell them what the truth is, then hey, put it out there. They're like, no, I can't. It's gonna fuck up my money. The truth has no friends. The truth has zero friends. That's how many friends the truth got. None. Us, right? The lowly of the low, the dang that what's that bad word that Hillary Clinton like looks down upon us, right? The deplorables. We're the deplorables. All we want is the truth. That's it. That's all we want. We want to hear the truth and we want to deliver it. As soon as you lose credibility with us, you're gone. You're out. You're done. We're the deplorables. Yeah, that's it. We're the deplorables, Shannon. Thank you, Shannon Everson. But yeah, but here's the thing, man. We're not difficult. That's another thing I want y'all to understand is that true earth people, we're not hard. You just give it to us straight. You just give us the truth, and we'll fuck with you. It's that simple. It's that simple. You bet I know CBD, and yeah, this time tonight I'm not fucking with your time. Yeah. And that's true. We don't eat babies. Yeah. Nano, Shannon's been here from the ghetto. She's been here. And yeah, we don't eat babies. We don't fuck around like that. But here's the thing. That money will make you harm your own family. That money is something fierce, man. I tell you. And they're not even having these people do, we're not even asking these people to do anything crazy. We're just asking them to use their platform and use it responsibly. That's it. Yeah. We just want them to is using it responsibly. Like telling the truth about that. That's using it responsibly, in my opinion. A lot of people would beg to differ and they'd say, oh, well, people don't listen. Listen, we're at a point, excuse me, I feel the truth. There's always a good time for the truth. We're at a point in history where dudes ain't making money. Dudes are working a few jobs just to make ends meet because the ends have been met for a minute for a lot of people. Right? People are taking on extra means of employment in order to just make things work. You mean to tell me people ain't ready for the truth? People want a way out. I think the truth is part of it. People need it. People are looking for an answer. People are looking for an answer, and I think that one of the best answers, if not the answer, is you tell them what this place is. You tell them what this place is, and why it's so important is because you're coming from an angle of your hands are empty, and it's the truth. You're coming from a place of truth, of reality, of goodness and openness, glasnost, right? And so you're providing to somebody an alternative. You can either take the blue pill or you can fuck around. You can take this red pill, man. Buckle up. You know what I'm saying? Buckle up because this is a lot more real than you ready for. This is a lot more real than you think. But I mean, at least we give people the option. We're not sitting there and we're not fighting anybody. We don't go to other channels and we don't. Well, I haven't trolled. I don't troll anybody. I just give it to them straight. I was kicked off of a Facebook channel because I was like, it was the truth of flat Earth proofs. It was called, right? I was on that Facebook channel. And then I was just giving them videos, giving them normal videos. I was like, you do know pilots are saying, and then people would be like, F you, pilots aren't saying that, this, that, and third. And I was like, they really are. Pilots are saying that. And they were like, you're a liar, you're a liar. And I take offense to that. Right? I take total offense to that. And I'm like, I'm a liar? It's like, okay, bet. So I'm lying, right? Cool. So I dropped that video in their thing. And I was like, all you dick suckers out there that's calling me a liar, all you dick swallowing motherfuckers, you all owe me a fucking apology. And I want my apology now. I want my fucking apology. But you want to know something? They're too proud. Also, the notion and the fact that I'm calling them dick swallowers, that didn't help either. Excuse my language, y'all. I apologize for that. But I'm just telling you how it went down. So I was telling them all this, and no, do you think I got an apology? Of course not. Of course, this is another thing that they do. They just come up with fucking empty ass excuses. Men, grown men, coming up with empty fucking excuses. And this is a room, right? This is a channel with 80,000 people. Now you just multiply that number, and then you wind up with like 1 billion people that think just like that. We have a lot of work on our hands. If we want to make things better, if we want to make things at least different, we have a lot of work on our hands. So sitting on your hands and not telling the truth of what this place is, it makes zero sense. It's almost as if you're wasting your time. It's almost as if you're wasting your time. And honestly, I don't feel I'm wasting my time sitting here. I don't feel I'm whispering wisdom to a fool. You know what I'm saying? And thank you. I wonder if I lost them. Yeah, and thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you. But yeah, I'm not whispering nothings to a fool. I'm not whispering wisdom to a fool, only to have you guys cuss me out and tell me I'm a fool myself for telling you the truth. It's the truth, right? Maybe I might provide you with something different every week, right? And that's my goal, is to give you something different, a different take on what we know, from coming from a different perspective, a different angle. but still, I'm coming at you with a plate full of truth, right? And depending on what your palate's like, it could be either bitter or it could be sweet. Doesn't matter. It's still good for you. It's still good for you. As a kid, man, I used to grow up, man, and every single night, my grandfather would give me, my parents were at work and stuff like that. Every night before they came home, my grandfather would give me a big old teaspoon, man, big ass teaspoon of freaking Scott's emulsion, cod liver oil. Oh my, it was this dang pasty white big old bottle. On the front had this dude smiling, holding a big ass cod. Like the cod was like the size of the Empire State Building. The dude was huge, holding this big ass cod. Scott, the fact is, everybody knew that cod liver was good for me, right? Cod liver was good, helped me out. It helped me be the healthy man that I am today. Healthy, robust, strong like bull, right? Strong Vladimir. So yeah, made me strong, made me age properly, especially on, my back all jacked up, my knees are jacked up. Time in the service kind of does that to you. My shoulders jacked, and other joints. But other than that, I'm strong, I'm fast, I'm swift, and I could still bend down and do everything else, all the other stuff that grown men could do my age. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Anyway. But yeah, no, totally. I could still do all the amazing things that men my age could do and then some, right? But if you're not willing to accept the truth, you won't there will be a lot that you're missing out on. I'm telling you. If you can't accept this place for what it is, you're so limited in what it is that you're so limited in what it is you're truly experiencing. Like all the fiction that you believe doesn't come. That's the crazy part. That's what's crazy is when you're missing the truth and you're stuck in the falsehood of fiction. You're stuck in the falsehood of what the globe is that you're missing out on what's not fiction, on what the truth is, and then what you don't know that you don't know, but you're starting to learn. Like that's what puzzles me. Like I wake up, like Dave White says. Dave White is like, I wake up every morning, and every single day, it's like it's really exciting for me. So I wake up every morning, and I'm just excited. I get on my jet ski, I do a show, and David Weiss, he got that voice, man. Shout out to David Weiss. I like David Weiss, man. He fucking with him. But he got that voice. And I listen to Jaron, and Jaron, he's got a good point, okay? Okay? Sometimes I say okay all the time, but flatter Dave, he's got his thing going on. But I'm not. So just like him, I'm excited every day because, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know what you don't know because the possibilities of what this realm is endless. It's endless. This is why when I learned of what the true earth was, telling people what earth was ridiculed, like it was me. I felt as if I was a born again. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I felt as if I was a born again Christian. I guess, right? I felt born again. I felt renewed. I felt like there is more to this thing, and it's not just a corny thing to say. It's the actual truth, right? What we got here? I appreciate you, Shannon. Hold on. Let's see where were we? Oh, I appreciate you. Yeah, man. Sometimes I get lost in my craziness. In Brazil, 20% of the population of flat earthers. Wow, that I've been hearing about that too. That's wild. But Brazil, we also have to look at where Brazil is too, right? They're right there in South America. They're seeing a sky that we don't normally see, right? And I'm sure many of those Brazilians, because I've never been to that part of South America, they've been, some of those guys have been to both, and I guess you could say hemisphere, but of both sides of the equator, some of those guys, right? Zero movement, zero curvature. Simple as that. That's right. That's the truth. Plain and simple. Really easy. Yeah. My channel. What things could be. We've been so cornered into a fake paradigm that we are breaking free in a way. Yeah, we are. We are. This place allows you to tell it like it is and just break away from the bullshit. Right? It's thrown like boom, da. Very much. Appreciate it. That proves real truth. Yeah. Shannon, I appreciate you and thank you for coming through. I appreciate y'all every week, man. And it doesn't matter who's in here and who's not in here, but for those that are in here, it doesn't matter. But for those that are in here, man, like I really appreciate. And I'm giving it to you truthfully, right? I have no reason to hide any of this, like I do, and I don't make anything off of it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's a shill." Like, really, me a shill? Okay, y'all don't know me. I've been in so much trouble in these institutions. Y'all really don't know me. If you think I'm a shill, oh hell no, hell no. I'll be. Yeah, so CBD, I've never taken it. I don't even think I can take it, to be honest with you. But what I do for work, yeah, I can't do it. But I believe I heard it's actually very good for you. Yeah, Genesis 1:6 and 7. Uh-huh. 1:6, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think Genesis 1:6 is where he puts the I think that's where God makes a firmament, right? And he separates the waters from the waters, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Like you guys could definitely correct me on that. So, but yeah, man, like the truth is so much better. The truth is so much better than the fiction that we learn. I'll be honest with you. Like I mentioned to a lot of my friends and stuff like that. And I think I even mentioned it on Beaker's channel the other day. Like I used to read Stephen King like he was going out of style. Stephen King couldn't write enough books for me. He couldn't write enough books. I used to read a lot of him, Dean Koontz. Um, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the fantasy realm. I used to read a lot of fantasy. Terry Brooks, Piers Anthony, Mary Zucker Reichert, Robert Jordan, God rest his soul. But all these dudes, like I used to read them consistently, right? I used to love these books. I used to love horror, fantasy, sci-fi fantasy mixed in, right? Robert Heinlein, all these dudes, Arthur C. Clarke. I used to read these things like they were going out of style. Hopefully, I ain't freezing up. Harley Hassan Harley. Good. Hopefully, I look good. Hopefully, that sounds good. But yeah, I used to read these dudes after I came into the true and level earth. What are they going to write? What are they going to write? And learning about the old world of what this place used to be, or what we're trying to figure out what this place was, and what this place actually is, bro. This there's not a book that you can write that could beat what the truth of this place actually is. The history that they're hiding from us it's silly what we're learning and what we're uncovering. It seems like on a weekly basis. It's crazy. So now, I don't know if you know this, but people are talking about our undersea cable in and around the Red Sea, I think it is. I think we have an undersea cable around there, which I don't know. But they're talking about the Houthis are threatening to cut our undersea cable. And I'm like, a false flag, anyone? But you see how we're conversing and how we're communicating back and forth, how seamless it is, how easy it is, and how often it is. Once they cut the lights off, they're going to make it hard for us to do this kind of communication. So establishing another means to getting our points across, to getting communications up and running, I think is absolutely necessary. Knowing how to communicate other than this way, I think is necessary. Knowing how to use a CB radio, I recommend it, or a ham radio, I recommend that. Right? Get some skills, learn how to use a ham radio, learn how to use a CB radio, know the different calls, know the different codes, right? How to read Morse, how to write Morse, know how to transmit Morse, right? These things, if you learn them, or if you have a chart that's available to you, you can hear Morse and you can learn how to hear Morse. Learn, you know, transmit a message by keying properly, right? Das, dot, dot, dits, and all that stuff. Transmit. Learning these skills, I think, would be beneficial to us here in the future. I honestly believe so. I really believe that. Hopefully, I'm not freezing up no more. There is no THC in CBD. Oh, okay. All right. Check just in case. Well, not that there's THC in CBD. Yeah. So here's the thing, Nano CBD. I read you on that. I know we can't build the pyramids, but here's my thing on the pyramids. You know how we're told that giants put a lot of this stuff together, right? I feel that the pyramids are not just pyramids, where they're not just capped off pyramids. I think we need to go a little bit deeper. I think there's more to those pyramids. I think those pyramids might be obelisks. I think those pyramids might be obelisks. So I think what we're seeing with the pyramids are the top of obelisks. And they might be obelisks. Yep. Yep. And I don't know if you've ever seen Coral Castle now CBD, but there are people that Castle is in Florida. Coral Castle was made by a dude that ended up getting tuberculosis. I forgot his name, but he lived for a while. And he ended up getting tuberculosis, but then he healed himself by learning of the way. I don't know what the hell book he read, but he read some book to where he harnessed the power of the sun and the surrounding ether energy, and he was able to move stones as big as like him around without a problem. And kids would see him and they'd tell their parents, and he'd be like, I don't know what those kids are talking about. Either way, he ended up building Coral Castle in Florida. He ended up building Coral Castle by himself in Florida, putting all these stones, properly moving these stones together. So I think it's the technology's out there, but just like everything else, that we've probably learned a lot of the stuff the wrong way. So I equate it to swimming a little bit, right? If you swim with your hands balled up, if you were taught to swim this, oh, excuse me, y'all. just imagine if you were taught to swim like this, right? Like that, you were taught to swim. The crawl stroke, the backstroke, the breaststroke. Boom, the breaststroke. You're all taught how to do all these things with these fists. And you've been doing that your whole life. You've been swimming just like this. And somebody comes up to you, but this is what they've told you. You cannot swim with your hands open like this, or else you'll drown. Let's just say that's what they said. Somebody comes up to you and they tell you, listen, just open up your hands like this. Just do your hands like this. No, but I'll drown. No, you won't drown. Just give it a try. I'll be right here with the oxygen to make sure. Matter of fact, here's a oxygen thing. Here's an air freaking hose. Stick that in your mouth. Here's a regulator. Now try it. Try skulking in one place. Try skulking like this. In one place, treading water. Now tread water like this. Skulk like this, right, with your hands. You'll notice a difference. Now apply that to your swimming technique. Oh, wow. I did not know that. Oh, wow. I did not know that about Coral Castle. This is awesome. That's amazing. But now you change your technique from this to this. Now you're swimming the crawl stroke like this, the breaststroke like this, skulking like this, the backstroke, so on and so forth. Now you've got your hands like this. Just the difference of small movement. Overall difference in performance. That's how life is in general, right? All these lies that we've been given, we've been diverted slightly, ever so slightly, with our education, right? They nudged us just a little bit to not get the full picture and the proper picture on how to do things to where we could live our best life and where we could live a very efficient life, I feel, right? Like I sit there and I look at how electricity works, or how the phenomena of an electromotive force, right? I sit there and I look at it like, this works, this is good, but I know that there's a lot more to this than we're seeing and that we're being told, and that we're actually applying to our day-to-day lives. There's a lot more to this than what we know. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Guys, I apologize for that. No, I'm still in. I'm still here, Wapo. I'm still here, Wapo. I'm still here, y'all. Family, I am still here. I ain't going nowhere. If you coming in, or if you just coming in, make sure to like, give that thumbs up, down, give that. Oh man, Ida, man, yo, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna have coffee here in a few hours because I gotta be at work. Where we at? Where we at? Yeah, I want to get some coffee here in a few hours. Yeah. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, y'all. Hey, I apologize for that. That was. I apologize. Whew, man. Oh boy. So I smell a bunch of burning stuff in my house because I was burning bills in my fireplace, just paper bills that I took a bunch of cardboard boxes, put them in there, took a piece of wood, put all my bills in there and everything. I set it ablaze. So, I had to go ahead and open up the flute, which I opened up the flute, but the place still smoked up anyway. Open up the flute, open a couple of doors, push this smoke on out, so it's all good. Nano, brother, it's good to see you, bro. You have a good night and you enjoy, man. Live long, prosper, all that goodness, man. It's good to see you, brother. All right. Good night now. Good night now. Oh man. I guess it's me and you in here, right? Me and you. Great night. Oh, Shannon, you getting out of here too, huh? Hey, too, Brute. Good night, everyone. You got it. Hey, love, wealth, health, prosperity, and peace to you as well, Shannon. You have a good night. Oh man, this was a good night. And Shannon gone. You're here. Me here. We're here. Oh, oh, ay, ay, ay. Whee. Yeah, Shannon gone, man. Shannon gone, Nano gone. Me and you. Who else is in here? Oh man, came in here. So yeah, man. So as you come in, please make sure to throw the likes up in there. Throw the likes. Throw in the likes. Yeah, man. So we covered quite a bit. We discussed. If you missed it, we discussed the protocols of the learned elders of. I'm going to spell it phonetically of Zulu, India, Oscar, November. Right? Zulu, India, Oscar, November. Right? Those guys, we were speaking about. I read, a few pages from the attack on the USS Liberty, which we're coming up on that anniversary, which is taking place this Saturday. June 8th, 1967 is the year, and 2024 is going to be a 57-year anniversary. Flat out fudge. How you doing, man? Brother, it's good to see you. It is good to see you, man. All right. Flat out fudge. Appreciate you, man. Nice to see you. Welcome. And so yeah, we discussed quite a bit. We discussed quite a bit. So if you're late getting here, it's all right, man. But what you're getting right now is tired Vlad. You're getting tired and red-eyed Vlad. Oh, I apologize for that, y'all. You're getting yawning Vlad. Everything but the crazy wild Vlad that everybody so loves. Oh man. So apparently, I don't know if y'all know this, but apparently Alex Jones was crying. You know what I'm saying? Alex Jones was crying because he was like, yo, he's like, so they're gonna take my show. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna take my show and I worked so hard for it. Alex Jones was crying, And then you had dudes like Jake the Asshole was out there clowning his ass, just laughing at him and shit, just talking. So spent 3 hours talking shit about Alex Jones, excuse me. And we were talking about Alex Jones, how the feds are gonna run up in his shit and take everything he got. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about Alex Jones because he was on with David Weiss and Eddie Bravo as well. So, oh, all right, okay, hey, thank you, Shannon. Yeah, I appreciate you. All right, yeah, yeah, no. Those tears, I'm holding them. I'm holding them back. But from Alex Jones. Oh, so that was fake, huh? Those were alligator tears. Yeah, man. I was like, oh, yo, if I was Alex Jones, I'd have been like, you know what, man? All y'all could suck mine. Man, look, I would have told him that. If I was Alex Jones, I was like, go eat a dick. Every last one of y'all go swim. All of y'all. I'm gonna make another show then. How about that, motherfuckers? I'm gonna make another damn show. You tell me I can't have a show? Get the fuck out of here. I'll make my own show. And I'll put it on tape. How about that? I'll put it on tape and then I'll sell it out of the back of my car. Fuck all of y'all without it. I don't know. I don't know if Alex Jones is used to taking L's anymore, because I know back in the day people would talk shit to him, and he was just used to taking L's. When you stop taking L's like that, if your skin kind of gets used to the nice life, the champagne, the glitterati, the welcoming eyes, the welcoming people. If you don't have that grit about you no more, that soft shit makes you soft. It makes you soft, man. And I kind of feel bad for Alex Jones, but at the same time, seeing him go down like that, I'm like, motherfucker, you should have known. The establishment let you ride like that. They let you ride like that. They gave you that space to make your platform. Now you've made it to what it is. You've broken a lot of rules. What did you think they were going to do? They can't stop him. Get the fuck out of here. That's the thing, man. When you got a powerful voice like that, if people don't want to rock with you anymore, fuck them. Hey, there are people that'll still listen to Alex Jones, and those are his riders. And he needs to go up there. And then look, Alex Jones, you know what? Don't fuck up and lose integrity with these people, which from what I'm understanding, he's lost a lot of integrity with folks. You know what I'm saying? Alex Jones has lost a lot of he's lost it with people because he decided to trade his truth for money. Problem with the money, man. Like, stop. I really hope that the age of Aquarius being here has changed people or is changing people. Like, the things we do for money is just like, there's a song called What People Do for Money. It's an old rap song by Houdini. I highly recommend it. It's called What People Do for Money. And here's the chorus. What people do for money. What people do for money. And then it goes, it might sound sad, it might sound funny, but that's what people do for money. Man, it ain't a joke. I'm telling you, man. People are just easy to buy. They're just easy to buy, man. And it's sad. It's just powerful. You've got a powerful voice. And you're gonna limit yourself with that money instead of making it a grassroots thing, because you get more out of your buck. You get more bang for your buck when it comes from us. And you get to tell the truth as opposed of it coming from them. And you can't tell the truth. You can't tell the truth like it is. You no. Alex was being serious, but seemed fake. No tears. Yeah, that was without the tears. That shit is fake. That shit is fake. You see, Alex Jones is a comedian, entertainer, and it's hard for him to take seriously for a lot of dumb shit. Now I know. A lot of folks like believe. Palkis feels the same way. Palkis does feel the same way, and I totally understand. Yeah. Remember that song? What people do for money. Let's see. The court document shows Alex Jones' parents made millions with selling products from the show. So I mean, he is a business. Yeah. Man, damn, bro. Alex, dude, come on, bro. Come on, Alex. Come on. Yeah, like, he could just walk away, go to the PI, and meet a beautiful little Filipino girl, and just live his life out, man, and just live that life. You can live that life. You don't have to be doing this. Yeah, and that's what they do. They throw that money their way. Them, the people in the media, and this is why when I was playing the protocols of the elders, learned elders of Zulu, India, Oscar, November, when I was playing that, I harped on the media part. The media part is so important. Matter of fact, Pulitzer. Who the hell do you think Pulitzer was? What do you think he was? Pulitzer. They have a fucking award named after one of them. Pulitzer. Are you kidding me? Pulitzer. So if they're gonna mess with, they have all the facets that make normal, I guess you could say normal American life go, right? They've heard everything. Yeah, they have, and they brag, right? We know that ain't true. We know that no, we can't be. That's not. They say that because they're like, yo, they're gonna give you flack because you're the plane flying right over the target. What do they say? The plane that flies over the target most catches what? The most flack. That's how it is. That's how it is. That's right. That's right. I mean, he's funny, but I'm not gonna. Yeah. Yeah, man. But Alex Jones got the power. If he wants, he could go, man, fuck it. What? I'm gonna build my own radio station. How about that? Building my own radio station. WALX. W Alex. That's it. WALX AM radio, right? Live from the Philippines. Matter of fact, yeah, you could get a lot more out of AM than you would out of FM, right? It would be a stronger signal, higher amplitude. You just transmit. It's gonna sound like crap. Shit, I'll tune in. Oh no, am I freezing up still, Ida? Am I still freezing up or am I good? Yeah. Yeah, man. Alex Jones, he's changed, man. That money changed him. Joe Rogan too. Tucker Carlson is not saying what the truth is. He needs to buckle down, man, and he needs to come out. He needs to buckle down and he needs to come out and call it like it is. Stop bullshit. These news dudes, you know what? Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna leave them in the dust. We ain't playing games. We're not playing games. We're leaving those people in the dust because they're showing that they haven't broken out of the matrix. So we're leaving them behind. Kind of like that Jeffrey LaHaye Jenkins, the Leave Behind series. We are leaving people like that behind. That's it. That's it. You find out when you find out. Right? We've brought the news to you. If you can't rock with it, if you can't move and progress past your fucking I'm puzzled, then you catch up when you catch up. You get there when you get there. Other than that, the bus is leaving. 7:30 bus is gone. Next one comes around at like 10. So you get to wait till 10. Yeah, man. Yeah, like you have all these news outlets. You have so many news outlets that could be talking about the true and level earth. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Mike Adams, right? Mike Adams is an awesome doctor that was talking about the Coco and movies like um, D Delta India Echo Delta Suddenly, right? Delta India Echo Delta Suddenly. He spoke about movies like that. And guys like Mike Adams, the health ranger, they call him, right? Mike Adams, the health ranger. There aren't enough people like that. That's the problem. That's a problem that we have in America. Right? And to be a country that's considered land of this free home of the brave, not too many brave motherfuckers around. We have a lot of people acting as if they're brave, but they're mostly cowards. We have a lot of cowards and we have a lot of lies. But usually when you lie a lot, that's because you're scared of something. You lie. And this is a habit I think we need to break out of. Totally lied before, right? But that's not who I am. It's not my character. It shouldn't be who you are. It shouldn't be your character, right? Um, I pissed on myself too, but I was like 3 years old, right? Pee guy doesn't mean I'm a type of motherfucker to just pee on myself, but now if I'm in the water, if I'm swimming, yeah, I let it go. Just a little bit, just a drop. Like, all right, I piss everywhere in the water, whatever. At least I'm telling the truth. At least I'm honest about it. And it's a phenomenon. When you piss in the water like that, because the water's touching your skin, it's a real thing. It's called immersion diuresis. Immersion diuresis. As soon as you get in contact with the water, and then you're like, damn, I can't hold it. You're like, it's a real thing. Immersion diuresis. Look it up. I kid you not. Exactly. And if you want to truly be honest with somebody you love, be truthful with a person. That's the only way to love. You got to be truthful. And if you know you're going to fuck up, you need to let too. You need to be open and honest about it. You need to let them motherfucker know. And let them decide for themselves. Let them decide for themselves if they want to fuck with you or not. Because if not, then you can you'd be like, okay, but you're leaving them that option, you're leaving them that out. And they can make an informed decision based off of what the truth is and not based off of what it is that you're giving. I hope that makes sense. And that's for anybody in any kind of relationship, right? Leader subordinate or freaking mentor subordinate, or teacher subordinate, anything. You don't want to be sitting there and bullshitting the people, man. All we've been getting is bullshit ever since we've fucking ever since we've come out that fleshy tunnel. We've been lied to. We've been bullshit. And we done, man. We've had enough. You know what I'm saying? We've had enough. Well, Rumble and YouTube family, I do pray that you guys like and share this tonight and subscribe while you were at it. I am going to call it night. To be up, what time is it? Nice, I gotta be up in 4 hours. Gotta be up in 4 hours. What can I do? Rumble and YouTube family, I gotta be up in a little bit. But it's been an awesome night with you guys. And even though there are a couple of y'all left in the room, I appreciate you. Now we can clean up after the party. No, but real talk. Vika Drazi is going to be in and around the next week or so. So if you haven't subbed to Vika Drazi, right? His channel is The Truth in Plain Sight. I highly recommend subscribing to Vika Drazi. Truth in Plain Sight. Subscribe to him, and you will learn more about this project as we move forward. But this is something you could put your stink on. You could potentially put your stink on, and you could contribute to. This project will set us all as a community, right? As a true Earth community ahead of what the globe is. So I totally feel that this is our moment. This is a moment for us to make all the wrongs, to make many wrongs out there better, to make some things right. We have a golden opportunity, and I'm all about opportunities, but this is a golden one, right? So where we can make a lot of change, and I'm all about change. So you'll be hearing more from me. I'll be making videos kind of alluding to what the project is. I don't want to give it away just yet, but it's coming down the pike. It is coming down the pike, and I want you guys in, if you want it. Now, I'd love for you guys to contribute, because I'm going to be contributing as well. And like I said, it will make us all better at the end of the day. Anyway, Rumble and YouTube family, that is my night. We're 2 hours and 45 minutes in the hole. And I have got to get my black, hairy rear end to brushing my teeth in bed. Because, man, you can look in my eyes, I am losing right now. So, again, like, share, sub, Rumble and YouTube family. I wish you guys, family, nothing but the best. Health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, but most of all, wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. And with that, family, I love you. Out. Make sure you pray at night. Make sure you pray when you wake up in the morning. Out. Salute. Peace.